The Crit Show contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Jake, I'm going to ask you, because you strike me as the first person out of this group that might still do this. Megan also kind of strikes me, but I'm not quite sure. Tass, I don't think so, because I know of your condition in regards to this. It's a long preamble.
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
It's a lot of shoe leather.
Yeah.
I hope it pays off.
Do you ever run up the stairs with the help of your hands?
Yes.
I can't get up the stairs without the help of my hands.
You know what I'm talking about? To like go even
On a
faster?
horse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't anymore, though, because our stairs are so short. Because we live on a split level, so both sets of stairs are only 5 steps.
Yeah.
I'd be up that in one stride.
Yeah,
Like,
you just
sure.
lean over and you're holding the top.
Yeah. But Megan, you still do?
Yeah.
Me too. I just had that thought like,
You have steep stairs, though, in your house.
Well, there's just this weird thing of, I was thinking the other day about like my dad at my age, the shit that I do that still feels like immature or childlike. I was like, I wonder if this is what keeps me in this headspace. The fact that I like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to go fast. So I'll run up the stairs using my hands or.
I gotta go fast, so I stomp my shoes so they light up.
Yeah. Or like I get out of bed and I roll out of bed instead of like put my legs over to the side. And
I asked Jake to grab my ankle and drag me out of the bed.
A lot of these things that you're describing are things that I have to do to survive.
Can any of you picture your father running up the stairs with their hands?
Yes, 100%.
I can picture your dad doing that.
I have to answer this literally first. I can't imagine that he would, but I can picture it.
Yeah, okay. I can picture it, but
It ends in tragedy.
when I picture him getting to the top, there's another him there reprimanding him. Like just being like, what are you doing? Stand up. What's wrong with you?
I was just curious. It happened the other day. I was like, I gotta get upstairs fast. And I was like, I don't feel like I should be doing this at my age. Yet here we are.
Do you still turn off the light and then get up or down the stairs? And do you like sprint?
So the monsters don't get
Do you try to outrun the monsters in the dark?
No, because the place that I live now has like multiple light switches.
That's
so
anti-monster.
Yeah, so I never have to pass through the darkness.
That's fair.
I can shut it off at the other end.
I'm just hoping they're in there, man.
Our basement in my childhood home was like a finished basement. It was like my zone. Like that's where my video game consoles and shit were down there. But yeah, the light switch was at the bottom.
Oh.
So, and I was up late all the time. Like I'd be going to bed well after dark. So that was always, I'd be like, all right, here we go. Flip the light switch, hands and feet up the fucking stairs. To the
Oh,
bedroom.
yeah.
Oh, we had the light switch at the top of the stairs. And my dad, every time we would watch a scary movie, would say, hey, go down to my workbench and get me, with some random thing, like a lighter. And we'd have to go downstairs, cross to the other side of the basement, get it. And at some point, when he knew we were there, he'd turn the lights off.
You had to do it with the knowledge he's going to pull this shit.
Yes, exactly. And it was
But you
like
couldn't say no.
Yeah, couldn't say no. So it was like in a relay race, like being ready to catch the baton. So like my sister and I would like space ourselves out in the basement and be like, all right, get ready. Okay, there it is. Go.
God. I remember watching TV at the first house that I lived in as a kid, and I got relegated to like the other room to watch TV. And the way it was set up was that there was a recliner set next to the railing and then the stairs that went down into the basement, and like sitting there and watching TV and then just feeling like hearing something or feeling something in your ears just do that thing where they feel like they perk up and just going, oh God.
Have any of you ever ridden anything down the stairs inside of your home?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Laundry baskets doesn't end well.
I don't think so, because we had hardwood.
Oh, that
stairs.
would fuck up wood stairs for sure.
We had like an L-shaped stair. So the length of it went down and then the short end at the end of the L. So we had to we were smart about it. We put a bunch of pillows at the end and then just would smash
so you
into
could
it.
ricochet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had, we had a gigantic stuffed bear that was like 5 feet tall. That I don't know who it was originally bought for, but it was there from the time I was forming memories. But you could sit on the bear and ride it like a toboggan down the stairs. Like you'd basically grab the ears and like pull its head back like you were going to slit its throat and sit on its back and just ride that thing down the stairs. And because it was soft, it would slide at the bottom too.
I thought you were going to say we cut open the back and would get inside and then throw ourselves down the stairs.
And then we'd march around the neighborhood and stare at the neighbors.
I did a thing where when I would go downstairs, I started doing this game where I would put my hands up and stand on a stair, like partway up the stairs, and then fall forward and catch myself on like the overhanging ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
And then the game was, if I did it and it worked, I'd go up a stair the next time. And that worked for a long time until the stair that it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell face first down the stairs and like got up and felt that my tooth was a little chipped and like checked all of my limbs and like my arms hurt, but I was like, I don't think I broke anything. And I remember this so clearly of like getting up and shaking and walking upstairs and going to sit in the living room with the rest of my family. And I just sat there like nothing happened.
Getting up and shaking like you were scared, or like shaking like a dog who's just fallen over and just like got to shake it out?
No, like the adrenaline.
Okay.
Like I was like, oh, I almost died. And then I just kind of sat down and they were like, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing.
None of them heard it?
No.
None of them were like, hey, what was that thunderous commotion on the stairs?
Nope.
That's bananas.
Yeah, so I don't do that anymore.
I never did anything whimsical as a child.
No.
Nothing at
I can't
all.
imagine.
You've been a grumpy old man since birth.
Yeah.
No, he knew from a young age he needed to save his whimsy for like when it mattered.
Yeah.
My first detention in elementary school was because a friend and I got in trouble for having a snowball fight, but the snowball fight was over which one of us was the true Scrooge McDuck. And so we were like reenacting something we'd seen on DuckTales.
God.
You had detentions in elementary school?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did too.
Oh, I don't think we did.
I only got one as well in elementary school, and I am proud of it because we decided we were going to like WWE wrestle during, recess. Fuck. I just
He's like, I can't
short-circuited.
even imagine what the word is
No.
for taking time to have fun and exercising.
But like we were clearly like we were just messing around. We were all friends. Nobody was mad. But I guess we were selling it because they like ripped us apart and were screaming at us, and we're like, no, wait. Like, we're not trying to make an excuse. Like, we were just, okay, all right.
That's like the time when Ryan was showing us all the stuff he had learned at his wrestling camp outside, and the cop showed up thinking we were beating him up.
That was my birthday, too.
Yeah.
Best birthday present I ever had.
God, just whoop, whoop, and 2 cop cars pulling up, and we're all like,
Up over the curb, across the grass.
Across the grass.
Speaking of vehicular overland travel,
Yes.
hello everybody, and welcome back to the Critshow where we are playing.
Grab
the
that
Clockworms.
narrative and run.
Hi, Jake.
Hi. Last time, our protagonists finished up their various city-side tasks. Kade finished up this additional train compartment. Einon finished recruiting and constructing the cells in which they are going to keep the ether magicians for now. And Maxine tapped into her own use of ether and found her restorative powers. And I think we pick up this time a short time skip ahead of you guys back in transit, in the train, chugging along the rails towards Carcadia Freehold. It is a north and night side journey from Sun's Edge, and you've got to cover a pretty substantial amount of ground. Carcadia Freehold is pretty far away. It's a little over 24 hours by train to get from Sun's Edge to Carcadia Freehold. The route has to wind a little bit. The tracks are built around some of the terrain as it grows hillier the closer you get. You know that Carcadia Freehold is built into the foothills of the mountains, but approaching the mountains, even the terrain starts to get more rugged, less flat. It goes from woods to plains to hills to mountains. Is there anything anybody's wanting to do along the journey in your 24 hours or so?
I think really I'm just taking time to set up the second train car, like internally. Like I'm not setting up a bunch of the space, but like I think I'm setting up a corner of it as a workstation.
Okay.
I think this is where I feel the most useless, so probably not really. Probably going a little stir crazy and feeling a little motion sick.
Just shooting arrows out the windows as you go.
Yep.
I'm reading through some books and looking for any information that I can get on the Frost Sea. Like, I know we're probably going to have to do some more digging when we get to Carcadia to figure out like what kind of gear we're going to need to get to even traverse to Port Valles. But I think just knowing anything extra about the Frost Sea itself, I know that it is, inhospitable because it's, one of the extreme sides of the planet. But knowing that we're going to be adventuring into it, looking for another one of these cores, I'm trying to get any sort of information I can, like especially when it comes to these creatures that have been floating up in icebergs and if those have ever been seen before and recorded in history.
Okay. How do you feel about doing this as a create an advantage?
Ooh, that's good.
Creating an aspect representative of your knowledge that you can utilize later. So let's say this is create an advantage with lore. And just to clarify a little bit, is this like civilization along the Frost Sea, or is this like the Frost, like what's in the Frost Sea?
What's in the Frost Sea.
Okay.
Like, I imagine there is a lot more information available about like people living along the coast, but I'm looking more for what has been recorded about the beyond.
Okay. I think that's going to be a much more challenging attempt then.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm inclined to go with a 5. I think this might be superbly difficult to get useful information about what's out in the sea itself.
Okay. Oh, that's a 5.
Nice.
Do you want to spend anything to make it a success? As it is, you would create the new aspect and you would get a boost. If you make it a success, you can get 1 free invoke. If you make it a success with style, you'd get 2 free invokes.
I'd spend 1 to help out on that.
What would you invoke?
Adventuring Scholar. I certainly haven't been into the Frost Sea, but I've been nightside and probably would have heard tales and looked up a little stuff myself.
You strike me as someone who's probably killed something that has made it in from the Frost Sea, but never at the Frost Sea.
Very possibly, yeah.
Okay. Spend 1 of your fate points. That will bump this up to a 7, which is a success. What do we want to call this aspect?
Like frozen knowledge?
Okay. With 1 free invoke.
That's better than mine. I was going to say cool treats.
Hot eats.
Yeah.
That's the one you get when you learn about the burnt lands.
Yeah. Who's that at the door?
Boy, now I want to make an advantage about the things that are edible on both sides of the world.
So this day passes, some of you getting to work, some of you just trying to keep your wits about you. You pass through this varied terrain. You see occasional settlements along the way, and there doesn't seem to be any troubles with the rails as you go along, fortunately. It seems like they are unencumbered. It even seems like some of those settlements you pass may have cleared what obstructions might have been along the rail. Like that they noticed that they were active and restored them for you.
If that's the case, like just as we're going through little towns, if I notice that people are watching, I'm going to like step outside on the little, what is that thing called at the front of like a trolley where you're outside but still on the train?
The bow.
The bow.
The balcony.
Yeah. But I'm gonna step out on that thing and like wave to people as we go by.
Yeah, I think you see some mixed responses. Some people are like excited to see you. You get the classic like some kids running alongside the train like waving at you as it goes by. Some of these places you just get sort of like a polite acknowledgement, not particularly excitement, but more like this was just the right thing to do when they did it. They're not particularly enamored with you.
It's like a parade. Instead of throwing out candy, I'm just throwing out like cogs and nuts and bolts.
And they're wounded.
Yeah.
It's like a hailstorm they didn't expect. But as you hit the last hour or so of your journey, ahead down the tracks, you get eyes on the walls of Carcadia Freehold. Again, it is built into the foothills of the mountains. It is, a city is almost a generous way to put it, because it's kind of like one giant ramshackle marketplace. And just by nature of needing places to stay, people have created places to stay. Like, it is a city just enough to support the commerce that needs to happen here. But you do notice a handful of people who are rushing like your direction on foot down the tracks, like towards the train, until they notice it and they kind of scatter off of the tracks, but they keep like running the opposite direction, as if in a panic or in distress.
I'm going to slow the train down.
Okay.
See if I can grab the attention of one of them. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Watch out behind us! Ads!
As you get like a better look at these people, they are kind of shabbily dressed. They don't seem to have much of anything like on their person in terms of equipment or gear, just like the clothes on their back that aren't in great shape. And it is a collection of adults, children, like a diverse little group of people. But one of the adult guys stops at your call, and he's like breathing heavily. He's clearly out of breath from this run. Rhino raiders! They took our carts and they ran us off.
You say Rhino Raiders?
Yes.
Do I know what that is?
Why don't you roll to overcome with lore? And I think you're trying to beat a 3.
6.
Nice.
Okay, you succeed with style. You will get your answer and a boost. So you know that the Rhino Raiders are a gang. They live and operate outside of the walls of Carcadia along the thoroughfares that people would generally be approaching the Freehold. And they're like bandits. They're literally people who ride on the backs of trained rhinoceros, and they will intimidate and attack people who are hauling in goods to try and peddle their wares in the city, and they will steal that shit and run them off and take their stuff for their own.
What's going on up there? Is there a fight?
Not yet. All these people had their stuff taken by Rhino Raiders.
I climb up to the front. Did you just say Rhino Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Have you encountered them before?
No, not personally, but my parents have gone to Carcadia Freehold many times as merchants, and I've heard stories. It's part of the reason I was never allowed to come.
Oh.
Just to be clear, these are raiders upon rhinos.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Get me off of this perpetual sickness machine.
Ah, God, I'm going to have to make space on this train for a rhino now, aren't I?
Very likely. We'll see.
Just get the fastest one, and then Einon is just riding it alongside the train.
I'm hopping off and running the direction that they are running from.
You don't see the Rhino Raiders yet.
You
only see the people fleeing from them. You also don't see their carts that they said were stolen. So,
And they were fleeing towards us on the track.
Correct.
Oh, then I'll keep driving the train till we see something.
Okay.
I start to jump off, and Kade's like, up.
We're already headed that way.
Grabs you by the scruff of your neck.
Yes, all right.
All right, yeah, so you fire the train back up and keep rolling. And it's a couple more little foothills that you crest before you do lay eyes on the scene that was described to you by this fleeing individual. You see that on either side of the tracks, it seems like the kind of main road into Carcadia follows parallel to the tracks, just by nature of it like being a desire path. On either side of that road, you see a total of 6 individuals sitting astride rhinos and 3 carts, one of which is overturned. It is on its side. One has a broken axle and is sort of sitting askew, leaning towards one end, and one which still seems to be in proper shape. That is the one that 5 of these individuals are gathered around, having dismounted their rhinos, actually. Only one of them still sits astride theirs, who seems to be keeping lookout in your direction, and seems to notice the train as it enters their line of sight, the same as they enter your line of sight.
Anyone have a compelling or interesting way that we might scare off trained rhinos?
Big robot?
I was just thinking about like some kind of big noise that they wouldn't be used to. Maybe if we could startle them.
Do we have any of those fireworks left that you made? I'm fairly certain we do.
Smee, open up.
Ah.
That's just a noise I programmed into him.
It's Kade's voice going, ah.
I don't recall you having saved any back, did you?
Not intentionally.
Sounds like a resources roll to me.
Yeah, can I see if I hung on to any?
Yes, you can create an advantage using resources to declare that you have something you need on hand or can quickly acquire it. And it'll just give you an aspect representing the object. So let's roll to create an advantage with resources. I think you're trying to beat a 2.
5.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you create an advantage with 2 free invokes. Let's call this aspect fireworks supply. So yeah, you pop Smee open, and it's hard to see what he's carrying anymore now, especially because like everything inside is kind of charred with firework dust and soot. So you gotta kind of like dig around in there, and yeah, they're hiding in a corner. He's an orb. Does his container have corners, or is it circular?
I feel like there are little, like, almost like a locker, if we're storing stuff in him, that I've put like little additional doors
Inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way it's not just like putting
Loose.
stuff into a laundry.
Yeah.
He's just like a
dryer.
gumball machine.
Yeah.
Then just in the furthest one, you gotta like reach in like shoulder deep and kind of paw for it. You find the fireworks.
I just climb in their face first, and I just hang out. Like my legs are just still hanging out, and I'm digging around, and I come out, and like my entire top half is like sooty.
Yeah, you look like a chimney sweep.
Yep. I did a restock before we left. Here you go, and I'll hand him over.
Marvelous. I'm beaming excitedly at Maxine, and then raise an eyebrow and just shift to look at Kade. What do you think? What do you think it would take to attach one of the noisier pieces of these to one of my arrows?
I mean, a piece of string.
Well, that seems exceedingly simple.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a roll.
Okay.
I think that's so easy. Yeah, you literally just tie a firework to an arrow.
Well, are we ready?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna jump down off the train and gauge my distance and start moving forward until I think I can land a shot right in the middle of the group.
Okay. So yeah, did you guys bring the train to a stop once you laid eyes upon these individuals?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you being sneaky in any way? Like, you can see them, but the one that's keeping watch can also see you. It's a good distance, so it might not be immediately obvious what's happening.
As much as part of me wants to just be very brazen with this, I think for the opening shot, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to be sneakier.
All right. Why don't you roll stealth, and I'm going to have that watchman defend with notice.
Okay. 2.
-1.
Wow.
That lookout is not privy to what you are doing. You are able to sneak up into range where you can fire off this arrow, which, because its purpose is not to harm, but to spook, I think I'm going to have you make a provoke roll.
Oh, provoke.
And I'm going to roll for the rhinos themselves and see how they fare against it.
Are we sure on provoke?
What else are you hoping?
I don't know, because I'm not trying to talk them into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, provoke is, quote, the skill about getting someone's dander up and eliciting negative emotional response. Fear, anger, shame. It is the being a jerk skill, which I guess generally puts it into a interpersonal communication.
Yeah.
I mean, fear sounds right. Like you're trying to scare the rhinos into taking off, right?
I suppose.
I'm just not sure what else it would be.
Yeah, because if they're all very specific about, like, if shooting is to harm, and, like, part of me is like, I don't know, something like athletics to, like, as a dexterity thing to put it where I want it. Because, I mean, the firework's going to do what the firework's going to do no matter what you know what I mean? Like, the firework isn't, it's the thing that's causing the reaction, and where I put it is what will make that happen. I'm not like, take this, you dumb rhinos, and...
I can see both sides of that, because, like, it doesn't feel like it should be provoked because you're not rolling for the effectiveness of the firework.
Oh!
Yeah?
Here we go. Since I'm using physicality, sort of a threat and a tool of violence, Would this count as my talking with my fists? Roll plus fight when provoking while using weapons or threats of violence.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yay! I forgot I took that until just this moment.
So what does that do again?
So I get to roll with fight when I am provoking using weapons or violence.
I, of course, remembered all along that you had that. And I was just trying to guide you there.
God, you're so good at this.
I have to know, what are the rhinos rolling to defend against this?
They'll be rolling their will.
Okay.
What is the will of a rhino, you might ask?
A trained rhino at that.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Oh, God. Okay.
Next week.
Short one this time. Thank you, everybody.
7.
All right, 0.
Go ahead. Spin some points. Let's go.
No.
Let's get rid of these before we deal with the people.
No, thank you.
Oh.
All right, so you land this firework arrow. It arcs like perfectly overhead before it detonates, like in the midst of all of these, and 6 rhinos lose their shit. 5 of them unmanned, 1 of them manned. They all scatter in different directions. One of them, the rider that's on it, is like, he's trying to keep control of it, but he can't. It takes off. Just by nature of them going many different directions, one of them is headed your way.
Marvelous.
It is actually more specifically headed for the train. It seems like that is like the largest thing it sees, and it immediately regards it as a threat. Would those of you aboard the train like to do anything about the rhino that is charging in your direction?
Yeah.
Tell me about it, stud.
I think that I whistle up Smee and charge at this rhino with the intent of like jumping to the side at the last second and pushing it sideways.
All right, so you are going to deboard the train, board the Smee.
Yeah.
And you are also going to do a mounted combat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is so rad.
Why don't you roll athletics, and the rhino is going to try to defend itself with its physique.
Okay, and I'm going to use my mech friend. I get a +2 to overcome physical obstacles when utilizing Smee.
Okay.
2.
1. Not rolling great. So, you and Smee charge at this thing and dive offline at the last second and knock it askew. And its course changes just enough that it kind of whiffs past the train running parallel to it and then off behind it. Maxine, what are you doing?
What are the rest of the raiders doing that were unmounted?
Why don't you roll to overcome with notice? And I don't think this is going to be contested. They're not like actively working against you, but they are pretty far away, and it is a little bit chaotic. Let's say you're trying to beat a 3.
6.
Okay, you will succeed, get what you want, and get a boost. You see that the 5 who were dismounted and gathered around that upright cart, as the firework goes off and their rhinos scatter, there are a few seconds of them like looking about, calling for the rhinos, trying to keep them from running, but they quickly change into we're under attack mode. They kind of give up on trying to rein in the chaos, and they like mobilize. You see one who seems to be calling the shots. He is a long, dark-haired man with a beard and this like red tabard and fur cloak hanging off his shoulders. He is holding a spear that he is actually kind of using to like gesture for the other ones, like he is calling out directions. But you see him lean over to another one, a little bit more wiry, wearing goggles. He kind of whispers something to that one, and you see that person nod and reach back into the wagon to collect something and turn back to face the train, leveling a flintlock long rifle in your direction. But I'm not sure that any of you know what that is.
Yeah, what?
Do you think any of you have familiarity with the primitive firearms of this world?
I mean, the closest, we were able to recognize what that sun cannon was, and that's a bit more of light than ammunition in this sense. But I don't think we've had any interaction with guns.
Yeah, I think that cannons, powder as a concept, probably isn't that wild. But remember, everything that is mechanical is in some way powered by ether.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be a black powder device anyway. There'd be something inherently magical to a cannon in your world. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys would know about handhelds.
this is a whole other tangent. I wouldn't even think of a cannon as being mechanical. Like, it seems like that could just be black powder, because isn't it just force in space?
Yeah, and the sun cannons weren't like black powder devices. You know, they were like clockwork, ether-powered devices. So they would be different from a mundane cannon. I'm not sure a mundane cannon as we know it exists in your world. Like, everything that is a construct or clockwork is powered by ether, and that is, by and large, the nature of things.
Yeah, it's like a weird world in the best way of, like, it feels like in some ways we're past certain things technologically, but behind other things, because just like why have a, like a pirate style, cannon when you can have these sun cannons? You have something that's in one way way more advanced, powered by something stronger.
Oh, yeah, or even the idea that, like, because cannons as we know them, like pirate cannons, don't really have any mechanisms, but the thought of everything in this world, if it has mechanisms, runs on ether, that's just how they build things. Like, that there is, I won't say an unnecessary mechanism in it, but that there is a mechanism inside of a cannon.
Yeah, it's just like the thought never occurred to them that there wouldn't be.
That they wouldn't need it. Yeah.
Right.
This is the only way we've seen things built.
Or, more realistically for what we've set up, regular cannons did exist so long ago.
Like 40 years.
Like 40 years ago, and nobody wrote a goddamn thing down about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do we think that's, like, I'm very open to the nature of the world. Is that how we think things are? Like, there are projectile cannons, but they are ether powered, and this is a totally foreign concept, the idea of, like, black powder and no ether?
I like that, but I think that there's a chance Einon knows about this just by virtue of having adventured all over the world, being an experienced hunter that's seen lots of different methods of hunting.
Is this you having seen it or just heard tale about it?
Probably more heard about it. I would be, again, I like the idea that this is very difficult for me to even know, and if I did at all, it is just that, is just know about it and not experienced it.
Yeah, and like just that idea that Maxine's, what she did with the fireworks, that could be used for not simply entertainment.
Right. Like employing it outside of just a little package that fires up in the air is not a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think, like, this is not a rollable situation. This is just establishing truths of the world. So you feel free to tell me or play it however you think. Like, what do you guys know about this? What does Einon know?
I think in this moment, even if Maxine calls this out, I think there's a chance that this concept has crossed Einon's path before, but so inconsequentially that I don't understand what I'm looking at. That idea has not even come to mind.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Maxine, I think you see this at a distance. You see this individual level this thing at you as if it is a weapon, but it is a weapon that you do not recognize. Like, it vaguely resembles something like a cannon or a sun cannon, but on a kind of longer, skinnier, smaller, two-handed scale.
I don't think I recognize what he has, but I think I pick up on the fact that this is probably not good because he's pointing something at me. So I duck and, like, hide behind something on the train.
All right, you duck just as all of you hear this crack like lightning striking echo through the hills, and a tiny projectile shatters the front glass on the train as a bullet passes through, narrowly missing Maxine.
I think there's a chorus of, whoa!
And time out!
What the hell?
Real bullets!
And then just mildly, I'm getting one.
I think that is where we'll leave off this time around. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of The Crit Show. If you are interested in more information about Fate or Clockwinders, find that information in the episode description. You should also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thecritshow, where we have gigabytes upon gigabytes of additional content.
And for the right price, we'll send you a thumbnail drive with just all of it on there.
And that, unfortunately, we can't put the physical merch on there, but we'll just put JPEGs of the physical merch on there. Pictures of the t-shirts and the glasses and whatnot. And join us next time for another episode and more Clockwinder battles. Everybody, tell them bye.
See you later.
More battles.
The Critshow is a Critshow Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritshow.